Welcome back. The Department of Home Affairs is preparing to commemorate World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. According to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, Elizabeth Bailey, this year's activities will be more widespread than that of previous years and will include greater public sensitization.
July 30th will be observed as the International Day of Anti-Trafficking. Members of the public are being encouraged to join commemoration efforts by wearing blue on this day. We got some information from Elizabeth Bailey, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs, on how things will take place.
July 30th is designated as the International Day of Anti-Trafficking. And on the 30th, St. Lucia would like to commemorate the day with wearing blue for that day. So we invited members of the public to dress in blue. It could be dark blue or light blue, but any shade of blue to commemorate Anti-Trafficking Day.
Bailey shed some insight in terms of the landscape of human trafficking currently in St. Lucia.
Well, human trafficking, we've had a few suspected cases, usually associated with individuals passing through. So St. Lucia can be considered a transshipment point. People pass through to either connect through international flights to go across to the US or the UK or Europe, and they are passing through St. Lucia sometimes it's just for a day or two, and we have had some suspected cases associated with the yachting sector. So also we ask people to be vigilant around the yachting industry.
She says come July 30th, a plan will be rolled out to encourage public sensitization of human trafficking.
We had a few suspected cases about 2 years ago, but in the last 2 years we've not had any cases reported at all. So it can either point to us not being vigilant enough or not being able to detect well enough. So what we've done is to have sensitization programs with key stakeholders, like those in the front line, the health sector, so that if anyone should report to a health facility and they show certain signs, that they can identify them as a victim. And we also have dealt with the police, so that if they come across anyone in their day-to-day operations who look like victims of trafficking, that they can be vigilant to identify and to be sensitive to the situation.
Anyone with information of a suspected case of human trafficking is urged to contact the Human Trafficking Hotline at 847. Port 7 TV, I am Jacka Wooding. Now back to you, Lovely.
In a statement delivered by SLP Chairman Moses Jabatis, the opposition has called for greater transparency on the situation involving the operations of Winfresh. Minister for Agriculture Ezekiel Joseph provided an update on the entity, disclosing just how deep in debt it really is. Joseph says efforts are currently being made to restructure Winfresh.
SLP Chairperson Moses Jabatis on Tuesday, in a statement issued before Parliament, expressed his dissatisfaction with the government's silence and seeming disinterest in the fate of banana farmers in St. Lucia, particularly surrounding Winfresh issues.
The St. Lucia Labour Party wishes to call on the Prime Minister and the Minister for Agriculture to clarify the situation with Winfresh. Has Winfresh been liquidated? The St. Lucia Labour Party also notes that the Minister for Agriculture is a director on the board of Winfresh. And we suspect that the directors of Winfresh are resigning one by one, and we want the government to clarify this situation. We also know that over the years, the government of St. Lucia has not placed enough emphasis on ensuring that quality bananas are shipped from St. Lucia, and that over the years, we have not seen an increase in exports to the UK since 2016.
In response, Minister for Agriculture Ezekiel Joseph explained that Winfresh is currently in administration and presently a lot of work is being put into salvaging the organization.
We're not too satisfied with what we see happening as far as the management of Winfresh. I'm sure you're aware that banana farmers are not being paid on time. The government has to come in to support by injecting $2.4 million to pay outstanding payments, whilst they have been able to be current, but we're not happy. So what we said that since we are the only Windward Island involved in the steel product producing banners for the UK market, we, based on discussions with the other shareholders, believe that the time has come for us to really restructure Windfresh.
The restructuring of management is also happening with Leah. So should entities of such a nature belong to the private sector?
I don't know if it's about public. I mean, we are looking at how we can encourage private sector involvement through some of the organizations we have in St. Lucia. For example, Invest St. Lucia has been spoken to, and Invest St. Lucia is interested in seeing how they can give support. But Invest St. Lucia is not a private entity, it's still a government arm of as far as an organization is concerned.
Joseph explained that the government has injected $2.4 million to help the organization make payments to banana farmers in St. Lucia. He also stated that any debt being owed by Windfresh to financial institutions will be handled by the new administrator when all is settled. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzaga.
The deadline for applications for the Income Support Program for non-NIC contributors has been extended to the 30th of July 2020. The decision to extend the deadline is to ensure that no one is left behind and to grant more time to those who have started and not completed the application process. The Income Support Program is a safety net for anyone who has lost their opportunity to work due to the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, taxi drivers, jet ski operators, vendors, farmers, tour guide operators, dive instructors, hairdressers, and small bar and restaurant owners. Artists and entertainers are also eligible to apply.
The government of St. Lucia has embarked on various initiatives to provide income support to people who lost their jobs due to COVID-19. Senior Communications Officer in the Office of the Prime Minister, Nicole MacDonald, has explained that the government has dealt with COVID-19 from both the health and economic standpoint. She indicated that an extension has been granted to the deadline for applicants who are non-contributors of the NIC to receive economic relief from the government.
The deadline for applications has been extended. It was the 17th of July. It's now been extended to the end of the month. So people can still apply. If you lost your income during COVID, for some reason you're not paying NIC, please apply for these funds. I know that there have been persons out there who are trying to dissuade people for some reason from applying for the funds. That's not good. You know, we really need to understand that this money is here to support you. The government has approved $24 million for this program.
MacDonald lauded the efforts of the administration as over 2,000 non-contributors received their monies.
In terms of the non-NIC contributors, this week, the monies did start going out. Almost 2,000 people have already been paid their $1,500. That includes taxi drivers, that includes vendors, that includes hairdressers, people in the informal sector who may not have been paying their NIC contributions, who have lost their work because of COVID. So we're very happy that people have now been receiving those payments.
She noted that there may have been some issues initially with the disbursing of funds from the NIC. However, that has been resolved.
We know that we have had some challenges with the income support program, especially in terms of what has transpired within the National Insurance Corporation. But I think that they're really getting a handle on it now, and a lot of persons have received their funds. I think on a regular basis, the NIC does publish in terms of how much that has gone out in terms of support.
A special appeal has been made to the people receiving monies to not squander them. The Senior Communications Officer indicated that the government continues its weekly distribution of food boxes to the vulnerable in St. Lucia. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzaga.
The City Police Department is taking steps to build capacity and improve the quality of service to the public. On Tuesday, the department concluded a 3-day training program on effective communication.
The Ministry of Justice and the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions partnered with the Department of City Police to conduct a 3-day training program on effective communication. Sergeant of Police of the City Police Department, Yoni Kamshan, says the training was essential to improve community relations.
It was a need for the City Police because you find from training school, coming into the world of work, performing their duties, they needed at least that training to help alleviate their duties, to make their duties more efficient.
He indicated that training for the City Police Department will continue, as he believes officers should continuously be aiming to improve themselves in their field of work.
Police officers, it's an ongoing training. You cannot just say you have enough training. You're never too old to learn. The department will be engaged in training, putting into recording of statements, from recording of statements, compilation of case files, how to prepare case files properly, and then from there they will go into the traffic part of it. Traffic department will assist us with some training also. The special services unit will also assist us in firearms training. So it will be an ongoing thing for the city police.
He commended the officers for putting what they have learned in the training program into practice. He says the department is looking forward to facilitating more training so as to improve the quality of services to the public. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Genevieve Gonzaga.
You're watching the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more after the break.